So look, I don't think it's a big secret that I love superhero movies. I either love them because they're fun to watch and or very well made, or I love them because they're so terrible and I enjoy making fun of them. And over the past several years, we've kind of been living in a superhero movie renaissance. But with so many new entries into a certain genre of film, even though most of them are pretty great, problems are bound to come up. So today I thought I'd talk about a few problems that I'm finding with superhero films these days, and some ways I think they can be improved. Let's get into it. This is something that's kind of been going on for a while now, and I think it's time that something's changed up. Look, pretty much all superhero movies are going to end with a big punch-up between the good guys and the bad guys, alright? You can't really avoid that, and that's fine. But just don't do the same thing over and over again. To be fair, there are some movies that are trying to change things up. Doctor Strange and Civil War, I think, are really good examples, where they have interesting, different takes on what normally would be the final act of a superhero film. And that's what I would suggest you do to better this. Switch things up. Instead of having the finale of your movie being the superheroes fight and batter down an entire city, how about the superheroes fight while an entire city is being destroyed in reverse around them? That's creative. But take, for example, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, or even a movie that I quite enjoyed, Wonder Woman. All of their endings are kind of bland and just meh. Not only does it look kind of ugly and the special effects are worse than they've been for the rest of the film, but it's also just so predictable. I know exactly how it's going to go down. Oddly enough, this stood out the most to me in Wonder Woman, which I would say is easily the best of these three. And that's because the rest of the film actually subverted what I was expecting, to a certain degree, that I was kind of disappointed that the ending was just, oh, it's another giant grey villain who shoots lightning and smoke and whatever. And of course it's set at night, and of course there's a giant beam shooting into the sky. For the record, I know everyone makes fun of this, but come on, can we please stop with the giant sky beams already? It was getting old by the first Avengers. This is getting ridiculous now. And this relates somewhat to my next point. Something that I find kind of interesting is that now that superhero comic book entertainment is so prevalent in pop culture, it's kind of turned into its own genre. And with any genre comes a lot of cliches. And I really wish that now people are more aware of these somewhat formulaic tropes, let's stop using them. There's no point in killing off a major character if I know for a fact that he or she will be back. Alright, firstly, spoilers for Batman v Superman and also The Defenders. If you haven't seen either of those, click away from this now. Alright, in Batman v Superman, I know Superman is going to come back. Like, literally in the next film. So, what's the point of killing him? I get it, it happens in the comics. And you know what? I would be more than fine with this if they actually waited a while. Like maybe 5 or so years down the line, he makes some epic triumphant return. That'd be awesome. But in this case, he's been dead for like one movie, and now he's back, which makes the whole thing feel kinda pointless. Plus, we didn't really get to know the Superman that well before it happened, but that's a whole other thing. And then even more recently, with the Defenders, I know one of the main 4 and most popular Defender isn't actually going to die. That'd be a cool twist if they actually did that, but I know he isn't really dead. So why do it? Especially if you're gonna erase it literally minutes later. Look, maybe this will have some amazing impact on future seasons, but it just kind of annoys me because it feels like a bit of a waste of time. I get that no one dies in comics, alright? And sometimes that works for the story's advantage. But nowadays, if you're gonna kill someone and they're gonna come back right away, don't spend a lot of time building up on it and trying to have some kind of emotion. Or actually keep someone dead for once. Okay, that was a little bit of a mini rant, but it's just one example of cliches that are getting kind of old in these films. Other examples, the previously mentioned big grey bad guy and the blue skybeam problem, hordes and hordes of faceless aliens and robots. It was cool back in 2012, but now we've seen it way too many times. And a villain saying, the world is changing, and or, you and I are the same. Which is a good segue into... Look, this is one of the lesser problems on this list, because this problem has been getting better. Despite the villains from this year being and looking like they're going to be pretty strong, the MCU in particular has struggled with this. Like, it's the one thing everyone complains about with the MCU, but really, who remembers Ronan and or Malekith? And as for the DCEU, again, I'm not trying to hate on Wonder Woman, it is easily my favorite DCEU film so far, but the villain in that, yeah, he wasn't great in my opinion. Honestly, say what you will about Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, I for one really didn't like that performance.
Maybe one day Dad'll come back if I just keep everything the same. That is silly.
But at least I remember it. I don't really remember much about Ares, except he was kind of snivelly, and then he was a big demon guy. Steppenwolf looks like another just super generic bad guy for heroes to fight, who really has nothing to him. These don't all have to be Heath Ledger's Joker, but give me something to latch onto. At least Ego was kind of charismatic, and Vulture had a backstory I could sympathize with. That's more or less all I'm asking for most of these. But enough of these villains who are just, I want to destroy the universe because of revenge, or just because I'm evil, or some other reason we've seen a million times. Again, like the last point, I feel like this year especially, superhero films are starting to get away from this, but it still is a problem. Now that 5 or 10 of these films are coming out a year, they can start to just kind of blend together a bit and not stand out. I mean, I think Thor and Thor 2 are pretty good, but there's nothing exceptional about them. I don't really remember much about them. The Amazing Spider-Man's pretty cool, but not super memorable. Ant-Man's fine, Age of Ultron's fine, but they don't really stand out to me. They're just fun, and then I kind of move on. Adding new twists and spins to these films is what makes the best of them. Examples recently are Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, and Logan. They all stand out and feel unique because they add some different kind of spice to what otherwise could be very standard. That's one of the reasons why I'm more excited for New Mutants than I would have been a while ago, because it's apparently a horror film, and that's something we haven't really seen in this style before. In fact, I'd say the X-Men films are pretty good at this. Yes, the core series can get kind of samey, but these more experimental ventures are what I'm hoping these films are going to follow going forward. This is something that's been happening for a while, but has only really become prominent in recent years. Superhero films set up future films in the series. Hell, other films and franchises set up future films in the series. It's just a thing in most franchises. But ever since the MCU's inception, it's gone a little too far. I still think Marvel does this the best. Small hints throughout and an end credit scene, great. They don't always walk that line perfectly, but most of the time, it's not distracting. But now that other studios have caught on, everyone wants their own cinematic universe, and sometimes this starts to get really forced. Having a Wayne Tech satellite in Man of Steel is a great Easter egg, and a subtle yet exciting setup for people who are fans of the material. Having Wonder Woman slowly clicking through LexCorp prepared videos of The Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg is not. I think the line here is if it flows naturally with the story that's being told. If the movie's story allows the setup to flow naturally with it, awesome. I've said this I don't know how many times, but I think Civil War is a perfect example, especially with Black Panther. Black Panther's there so people can learn about the character and get excited for a solo film, but he also has a very vital role to play in the film. The movie would not be the same without him. Batman v Superman would be pretty much exactly the same if you just remove that scene with Wonder Woman finding out about the Justice League. And then you have movies like The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where suddenly, without warning, we're just shoved into this hall of Oscorp's Sinister Six setups, and while that might be cool for a super fan, a regular moviegoer is just wondering, what is this? Save that for the end credits, if you have to have it in there at all. So my point is, going forward, integrate setups naturally into the film's story, or save them for the end credit scenes, like with Guardians 2. Whoever Stallone is playing is probably coming back for a future film, but it did also tie into the overall Yondu story and was in the film for a reason. I don't think that's the very best example, but something like that is fine. I just really don't want to see a scene in the middle of Justice League where Darkseid looks down on the Earth and says, maybe I should check that out sometime. And then the movie just keeps going. If he's gonna be in it, have it make some kind of sense. So, those are my thoughts on the problems with superhero films. What do you think of all this? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. While you're at it, be sure to like this video, check out my Instagram and Twitter at BHL_Hudson. Check out this podcast about movies and TV and whatnot I do every other week with my friend. It's called the Poorly Planned Podcast. And subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.